What if I told you right now, at this very moment, there is a battle happening in your mind, a battle between who you are and who you could become. The average person has over 6,000 thoughts per day. And get this, about 80% of those thoughts are negative. That's nearly 5,000 negative thoughts every single day, potentially holding you back from the career advancement that you wish or the life changes, life goal changes that you want and you deserve and you crave for. Welcome back to Abid Podcast. We are breaking the cycle of failure and that keeping you stuck, whether it is in your career, if it is in your relationship, or if it's your network and lifestyle. Today, we are diving deep into something that we all deal with it, those negative thought patterns. Why I call it negative thought patterns? Because this is we created, our mind have created, and I'll take you step by step how to break that. These negative thought pattern can sabotage our self-development, relationship and network, or even career success, development, or even venturing out towards entrepreneurship. Let me ask you something. Have you ever been about to walk into an important meeting and suddenly a thought came, I don't belong to this meeting? Or they are going to realize that I'm not qualified. Or perhaps you have stopped yourself from applying for a promotion because the voice in your head whispered, you will never get it anyway. Or even take it forward. One step more, it's like you were thinking about venturing out to a certain business or certain activity out of your career. And then the thought in your head said, well, I'm not ready. I'm not cut for that thing. If you are nodding right now, you're not alone. These thought patterns are not just random. They are actually habits your brain has developed it over time. Just like you might automatically check your phone when you wake up in the morning. Your brain automatically jumps to a certain negative thought patterns in a specific situation. The good news here, those thought patterns can be identified, interrupted, and even rewired. And today, I'm going to show you how exactly to do that. But first, we need to understand the negative thought loops. To break these cycles, we first need to understand what is really happening when a negative thought take over. Think about what happened when you are stressed about something at work, whether it's a presentation, whether it is a meeting review, or whether it is you are meeting with your consultant and you're trying to venture out with new business idea. Your brain does not just think I'm nervous. It goes into a protection mode. It's like your brain has the internal alarm system alert you, danger, danger, you might fail. Everyone will judge you and so on. These thoughts will trigger immediately in your brain. When this happens, your body actually releases stress hormones. Your heart beats faster. The rational, problem-solving part of your brain takes a backseat, meaning shut down. This is why it feels impossible to just think positive when you are caught in a negative thought spiral. What's fascinating is that those thought patterns actually creates a path in your brain through repetition. And always we talk about repetition, that if you want to have a new habit, is repetition the way how you build it? It's the same thing here. It's like walking on the same trail through a forest every day. Eventually, you create a clear path that's easy to follow. Every time you repeat a thought like, I'm not good enough for this job, you are making that path a little bit more defined until your thought or your thoughts automatically go down that route without you even choosing it. I have seen this countless times. I have seen it in people that I have trained. I have worked with, even whenever their bosses or senior level call them for an unexpected meeting, immediately their mind jumped into what I have messed up. Me, at the last corporation that I worked with, whenever I have been called by the senior management, I always jumped to, I thought like, what did my team have done wrong? What is missing in our report? Where did we go? What did go wrong this month, and so on. This has happened automatically, that even you don't realize that it was a pattern until I mapped it out and figured out, oh, this is the thinking that I'm going through it. So the good news is just like how you can create a new path in the forest. You can create a new thought patterns in your brain. Your brain is constantly changing, and you have more power to direct that change towards the end result that you are looking for. So how those negative thoughts or how those negative thought patterns specifically impact your career, not only your career, in any endeavor of your life, how does that affect it? Let's look at what I call it, the thought action cycle. A negative thought triggers a negative emotion. That leads to avoidance behavior, which is produce a negative result, which is reinforce the original negative thought. For example, if the thought is I will never get promoted, that will trigger a feeling of inadequacy and frustration. Those emotions lead to behaviors like not speaking out in meetings or not volunteering for high visibility project. Those behaviors result in being overlooked for opportunities, which is reinforce the original thought. See, I knew I will never get promoted. I have seen this played out hundreds of times in my own 20 years of experience in the corporate world, and even the hundreds of people that I trained. When I surveyed them, those caught on those negative thought cycle were significantly less likely to receive a promotion than their peers with a similar qualification but more positive thought patterns. So what is particularly tricky about those cycles? It is that it operates largely on autopilot. I will repeat it again. It operates largely on autopilot. Most of our negative self-talk happens automatically without us consciously choosing it. Think about your morning routine. Do you consciously think about every step of brushing your teeth, washing your face? Of course not. It's automatic. Your negative career thoughts have become just as automatic but far more damaging. The question is what is the common negative thought cycles? Well, the most common negative thought cycles I have seen with my clients and the people that I have trained, one is the imposter cycle. The stereotype is I don't really belong here, feeling anxiety, overwhelming or underperforming, eventually burnout or making mistakes. The lead point is, or the final result will be, see, I don't belong here. The second one is the rejection cycle. The stereotype of it, my ideas are not valuable. That leads on to feeling hesitant, not speaking out, not speaking up in the meetings actually. Ideas never heard. The end result is my ideas are not valuable. The third one, the comparison cycle. Everyone else is more qualified, feeling inadequate, not applying for opportunities, staying in the same position, then eventually everyone else is more qualified. Do any of these sound familiar to you as you're listening now? In the comment below, let me know which cycle resonates most with you. After we have reviewed these three types, the question is, what is the real impact on your career advancement or the other pillars of your life? The real cost of those negative thought cycles goes far beyond just feeling bad. They are actively sabotaging, screwing up your career advancement or nurturing your relationship or taking the route of entrepreneurship path. When you are caught in negative thinking, it actually impairs your ability to think strategically, assesses risk accurately, and come up with some creative solution. It's like trying to drive with the parking brakes on. Just think about it. I have tracked the professional impact on the people that I have trained and I have consulted, and the numbers are eye-opening. People caught in the negative thought cycle are 30% less likely to apply for a position that would stretch their skills. They typically ask for 10 to 15 less during salary negotiation. Why? Because they want to play it safe. They are significantly less likely to share innovative ideas in meetings. Why? Because they don't want to be noticed. In their mind, they feel they are not worthy to be noticed. And they report much higher level in workplace stress and burnout. That's why you find them trying their best to have multiple sick leaves and here and there. But here is what's really interesting. When people learn to break those negative cycles, the positive impact is dramatic. There was a study in 2018 published in the Nature Neuroscience used a functional MRI to scan the brain of professional people during career decision making. The result was really stunning. Negative self-talk literally deactivate the brain executive function centers. The parts responsible for strategic thinking, risk management, creative problem solving. So look how much that affect. And the other, and perhaps there is another most compiling research by Dr. Barbara from the University of North Carolina. The Borden and Build theory demonstrated that positive thought patterns does not just feel better. They measurably expand your perception of possibilities and your ability to build new skills. Here's the facts. In her 10 years long study, the professionals who learn to interrupt negative thought cycle and cultivate positive ones showed the following. Just guys, focus on that. Showed the following. 3 times higher rates of promotion, 4 times greater likelihood of being identified as high potential leaders, 67% higher scores in creative problem solving assessment, 40% stronger professional networks. And this is exactly what we need. We need to create that network which is equal to your net worth. The science is clear. These thought patterns are not just in your head. They are shaping your life. You're shaping your professional life reality. But here's the crucial point. Despite how powerful these negative cycles are, they can be broken. Based on everything that we have covered about how those negative thought cycles form and operate, I have developed a 3-step method that help you break this cycle for good. Step number 1, recognizing the loop. The first step is becoming aware of your specific negative thought pattern. Remember, most negative self-talk happens automatically. You cannot change what you don't notice. I call this catch your thoughts in action. When you can identify a thought as just a thought, it's still not a fact yet. It immediately lose some of power over you. In our upcoming episode, I will show you a specific technique. I call it thought mapping. Yes, we know the mind mapping, but this is a thought mapping. Thought mapping that will help you to identify your most common negative career thoughts, or not even career thoughts, in general thoughts, and recognize them at the moment they appear. Step number 2, interrupt the pattern. Once you recognize the negative thought loop, you need to interrupt it before it's gain momentum. Why this is important? One, because once you kill it in the beginning, it doesn't have power over you. It doesn't have momentum that you will feel weak to resist it. This is where I call it pattern interruption. I have created a 30 seconds pattern interruption technique. Can be dramatically reduce a negative thought spiral and prevent the stress response that typically accompany them. I have prepared a full episode to explain or to teach you and take you through the five pattern interruption steps or techniques specifically designed for the workplace situation. I will include including the one you can use it discreetly in the middle of the meetings or even presentation. The third step, review and response. The final step is to actively create a new thought patterns. Thought triggered practice. When you have the new thought pattern, then you put it on practice, that it will trigger the results that you need. This is where you leverage your brain natural ability to change and grow. The key is combining a specific visualization technique with a practical action that reinforce a new, more empowering thought patterns. With consistent practice, these new patterns become your default response. This topic is so big. I'm preparing another episode. I will walk you through the exact protocol, how to rewrite your response to career triggers, including maybe a daily 10 minutes practice that most successful people have seen, they are utilizing it. Guys, today's episode was really heavy, and we have uncovered how negative thought cycle can hold you back from achieving your career goals, achieving your lifetime goals, and the science behind it, why they are so powerful. In our next episode, as I said, we will dive deep in the method number 1, which is recognizing the specific thought loops. But I don't want you to wait until then to start breaking those cycles. That's why I have created a free negative thought pattern assessment worksheet that you can download it right now. It's in the link in the description below. This assessment will help you to identify the most common negative thought patterns before our next episode. If this episode resonated with you, hit the subscribe button, the notification bell, so you don't miss out the next part of this topic. I will not call it series, I will call it a topic, because it's continuous improvement. And share in the comment section below which negative thought cycle you have recognized it yourself. If it is the imposter cycle, if it's the rejection cycle, or even the comparison cycle, and write it down what you're gonna do with it. Remember, these thought patterns may feel permanent, but with the right approach, you can rewire them for your career success, life change goals, or whatever goal you have. Till I see you in the next episode, keep breaking the cycle, keep pushing forward, and keep winning. Bye-bye for now.